Hello and welcome back on The Watches TV, and today I feel very happy to convey with you my enthusiasm regarding one of the best watchmaking events on the planet, the Dubai Watch Week. And if I say one of the best, it's just that I don't want to go over the top. But this event is really all the way out there and a true benchmark in terms of what a great and successful watchmaking event should be like. And I'll come back to this in a sec. And just after that, well, actually we have another treat, as we will share with you a best of one of these nice panel discussions that I attended. Well, not really a discussion per se, but one of those pretty inspiring speeches from legendary man Jean-Claude Biver. A free man you can't really channel. He does and says things the way he wants, and we rather like this.
And when I see all my colleagues, all my friends from the watch industry, they smile with the eyes. What was the question?
So coming back shortly on the event itself, I can only say that it simply gets better and better. And to summarize the main overall theme of the Dubai Watch Week, well, we're talking sharing of knowledge and experiences, something obviously very dear to me. So for this fourth edition, and for the first time, all the participating brands were located under the same roof in an alley, mixing big players of the industry to smaller independent brands and also newcomers. So there is kind of an equality of treatment. I mean, you can't really flex your muscles by having this huge booth next to a smaller one, and this actually feels good. Okay, you do have smaller stands for some, but it's really fine and appropriate, and gives these smaller brands, which are sometimes almost one-man operation, well, it gives them a chance of being there for a reasonable cost. And all this to the benefit of the visitors, as you can seriously engage directly with all the watchmakers and brand representatives, exchange, ask questions, something sometimes more difficult to do elsewhere, i.e. Baselworld / SIHH, if you see what I mean. So as you can see, quite a lot of brands overall, and as a quick reminder, this event is organized by the SIHH family. That's the main watch distributor and retailer of Dubai, but that doesn't prevent them from hosting brands that they don't represent. So it's just another proof of their openness and respect to them, huge respect. So some brands use this event to launch new models, special editions, and even new collections, such as Armin Strom, who introduced the Gravity Equal Force collection, an entry-level collection for the brand.
System 78 is a brand new collection. It's a brand new entry-level line at Armin Strom, and we came with a completely new engineered watch movement, which is much better performing than the movements we did in the past. It's the first time we have a 41mm case. It's reduced. It's a very classic, simple, retro-inspired looking watch. There was this desire of having a watch which you can configure. So you have to take care when you come out with the design that the watch allows you to play with different colors. So we have different dial options, we have different dial colors, we have different platings on the main plate, so we have a lot of options to personalize the watch.
Okay, so the Crown was part of this edition, and we wouldn't expect anything less, as it had its show of its own in a separate but adjacent venue with an exhibition dedicated to the sub, but there were also some historical and private pieces put on display. But beside all these brands present there, well, there is just so much happening during this 5-day event. And as mentioned previously, well, you have many panel discussions, part of the Horology Forum, with great names of the industry and even from a broader spectrum, people exchanging enthusiastically over various themes or state of the industry or their art, people from the public participating, asking directly questions, and maybe sometimes, well, these discussions are a little bit B2B, but overall they are also, I mean, really interesting for the general public and to us, of course. But additional to the forum, well, you also have plenty of brand and product presentations occurring throughout the event in another sessions held at the Creative Hub. But it indeed doesn't stop there. I mean, yes, the program is quite dense with plenty of masterclasses, and when I say plenty, I really mean plenty. And people simply have to register in advance to attend them, and the range of topics covered is again pretty large. I mean, movement assembly, engraving classes, design classes, micropainting, among others. Auction house Christie's is also present, also organizing very interesting thematical presentations and discussions. And regarding Christie's, well, of course, everyone was still talking about the crazy only watch auction and the incredible and historical record achieved by the Patek and Only Watcher founder Luc Petavino was also there. And I quickly take this opportunity, and since it's also for a good cause and since they were also attending the week, well, Christie's is currently putting 12 unique watches from Royce Grossman on auction with special micro-painted figures of the Chinese zodiac animals. Link below, since this is an online auction only and ends pretty soon. Anyhow, the Dubai Watch Week is a formidable event and is such a benchmark of what a successful watch event should be. Sharing, casual, friendly, feels like a family moment, but the family is open. And on that matter, I really think that people should put this on their agenda for the next edition to be held in Dubai in 2021. But let's now listen to Mr. Jean-Claude Biver in a summarized version of his speech/performance, obviously fully enjoyed by a packed audience. He is really a superstar, and his take on watchmaking is definitely an interesting and inspiring one. Of course, we already heard a few things before, but nevertheless, always a pleasure, and we'll complement this with a few additional shots with the ambiance of the event. Enjoy.
Now, controversy, if it's positive, is good, because communication is good. And whatever is communicated about a brand, if it's positive, of course, it's a good communication. And the controversy communication remains. You get attention. If you have a simple information, people will forget. Disruptive communication. Disruptive communication. Not a PR communication. The business has to go on. You must never think you are at the top, and you cannot live by repetition. You must live thanks to innovation. And to innovate, you need courage. The courage not to find the right innovation. The courage to be wrong and to spend money. But at the end of the day, R&D, innovation is the future. Steve Jobs created a phone that you don't need to phone. We all have a phone, but we don't need the phone to phone. We need the phone for our music, for our pictures, for our SMS, for our WhatsApp, for our emails, and eventually 5 or 10% to call. So he killed more or less Nokia, who was doing telephones to phone, and he said the telephone should not be made just to phone. The telephone must be much more. It's like the Swiss watch industry reinvented somehow that a watch is not necessary to read what time it is. I said very recently in London, I said, you know, we should teach people not to look what time it is. We should teach people to look the watch. And to look at your watch is much more important than to look what time it is. And if your watch is just to look what time it is, then I blame you. I'm sorry that you bought the watch. The watch must be bought for what the watch is. And the watch is beauty, the watch is art, the watch is exclusivity, the watch is performance, the watch is quality, the watch is heritage, the watch is tradition, the watch is culture, the watch is a dream, the watch is an emotion. God damn, these are the values of a watch, not to see what time. What time it is, I don't care.
So why is it
and you know, and to know what time it is a drama. Because either it's too late or it's too early. I used to say, our industry doesn't exist. Why? Because the whole Swiss watch industry makes 21 billion exports per year. 21 billion. Everybody who is Swiss, half Swiss, little Swiss, full Swiss, whatever. 21 billion dollars. The biggest luxury group in the world is called LVMH. They make 48 billion per year turnover. So they make in 6 months, one group makes in 6 months what an entire industry does. Number one. Number two, Apple makes 21 billion profit every quarter, which means the profit in 3 months of Apple is equal to the turnover of a year of the whole watch industry. Next, the crown, the king, You know who I name. The boss is called Jean-Claude Biver. The king is, I say anything now, because I can be 10, 20%, 30% wrong, but not 50. He makes 1 million watches, to say something. Maybe it's 950, maybe it's 800, who knows. But I say 1 million just for the numbers. 1 million watches. If he has 100 countries where he sells them, that's 10,000 watches per country. But in 1.5 billion Chinese, you sell 10,000 watches. In 250 million Americans, you sell 10,000 watches. In 180 million Japanese, 10,000 watches. You see how small we are, how much more we can do. So the future of the Swiss watch industry is colossal, especially now. Why? Because for the first time, we human beings, we all together here, we are surrounded by products, car, washing machine, phone, whatever, by products that all will die and become obsolete. All. We have never been faced with obsolescence in that mass, in that magnitude. And what will we want? The more we are surrounded by obsolescence, the more we are surrounded by products that are going to die, the more we know that we also going to die, we will have to find an escape. We will have to find something on which we can rely. And on what can we rely? On eternity. And what is eternal? Art. The watchmaking art is eternal. Big Ben is working after 158 years. It's working 24 hours a day. A mechanical watch is eternal. And a mechanical watch is part of the Swiss watchmaking art. And as it is art, it connects you to eternity. And you buy a watch, you get a part, a piece of eternity, which you can wear on your wrist. It connects you to God. The watch connects you to God. The watch connects you to perfection. The watch connects you to art. The watch connects you to tradition. The watch connects you to love. The watch connects you to excellency. The watch connects you to dreams. God damn, who else can do that? Not many products, just the watch. But we need people who understand what I said. We need people who can transmit. We need artisans or masters, watchmaker masters that are today equal to Mr. Breguet. We need these guys. And we should, we should really emphasize on these people and help these people to grow. So if we do the job well, this industry will fly. My father, before he died, he gave me a watch that is called Le Coult. Not Jaeger Le Coult, because Jaeger Le Coult is recent. It didn't exist in 1946. It was called Le Coult. And Le Coult was a movement maker, and they made extraordinary great watches. One day they had a joint venture with Jaeger, and the name was changed into Jaeger Le Coult. But it was Le Coult. And he gave me the watch, and he said, "My son, this is the watch your mother, my wife, gave me in 1947 when we got engaged." And she wrote on the back, "For love and eternity." And I looked at the watch, I took it, and I did like this. I said, "Oh man, it's working, Papa." She said, "Of course it's working. It has worked non-stop since 1947. And I said, what a wonderful sign of love of eternity. You offer this to your lover, to your husband, to my wife, and 92 years later, the watch still works and still says every minute, I love you, I love you, I love you. What better can you find? And what are the other products that give you this? They are not. So a François Peugeot watch has a soul. It is not a product, it's a soul. And who gives the soul? Fingers. The finger are transmitting the orders that come from the hand. But the hand has a culture, has a knowledge, has an accuracy, and has a passion. And so this passion from the head goes into the fingers. And then the fingers put it in the watch. And then you close the case. And the soul, where's the soul? It's inside. And it comes out. And it goes into your eyes. And from the eyes it goes into the blood. And from the blood it goes into the heart. And then you love the watch, and the watch brings you so much luck, but you don't really know why. Until I explain to you. It's the soul. That's the magic of love, and soul is love. My ultimate inspiration is, we can also do Baselworld in Dubai. Which would be like Miami art, Basel art in Miami. So, but what I like here is the smiling eyes. What I like here is everything is relaxed. What I like here also is that there is no selling pressure, which means everybody is more relaxed. And I think more and more fairs will find more value in the eye contact with the people, in the handshaking, in the proximity, in sharing dinners, in sharing moments, in sharing a coffee. That is more important. It will get more important than selling watches. Because selling watches, we can sell 24 hours a day. Less is more is the more or less it's at the end of your career that you realize. And Picasso said, it took me 60 years to be a child again. And in the end of the career of a painter, he becomes very, it's easy, it's not complicated. So the less is more is very important. And it's difficult for a brand in the beginning to say, I do less. Because in the beginning you want to start, you want to make more turnover. And you think if you add in the collection 1 or 2 models, it will bring you more turnover. Which is not 100% wrong, but it goes on the delusion. And the Swiss watch industry during a certain time was very much driven by sell-in. And when you bring every year, I say anything, 10 novelties, and you have good customers all around the world, they're going to buy each one the 10 novelties. And if you have 100 customers in the world, so the 1,000 watches will be sold, because every customer will take the 10 novelties. And then next year you make only 5 novelties, and you might only sell 5 to each one, which is 500. And then people will look and say, hey, last year we sold 1,000 pieces, this year only 500, how come? Because we did only 5 novelties, and last year we did 10. Okay, so next year you make 50. And then it starts. So the delusion is a big, it's not easy to handle. And I have done the mistake personally with the delusion. But I have done it once. I will not repeat it. So the first 20 years are the learning process. After 20 years, you know a little bit. Then you can start to shape, make it. And from 60 to 80, you help. And you give back, and you say, thank you, God, that you gave me the privilege of success and good health. When I die, when I'm dead, make me come back a second time, but 100% in the same way than the first time. With all my mistakes, with all my doubts. Help is what you need. And the Beatles have a song that is named Help, and love is all you need. The Beatles have a song, all you need is love. So go and listen to the Beatles tonight.
Well, I sure hope you like this, and I simply can't congratulate enough the organizers of the Dubai Watch Week, the Siddiquis, for pulling something as fantastic as this. And I hope people from the main watch fair, Baselworld and the likes, take good note. Well, actually, Mr. Loris Melikov, the new boss of Baselworld, was present and participated in the panel. So I hope this gave him some further good ideas. Anyhow, I personally always come back from the Dubai Watch Week extremely happy, maybe a bit tired, but truly enthusiastic for the future. So this is it. All the very best to you. See you real soon. Thanks for watching, and obviously, Viva Watchmaking!